Well, good morning. Rick's mic is out, so I'm just going to say, Rick, thanks for those very kind words, which you were attempting to say. It's great to be here at the UDT SEAL Muster. Representative Murphy, my fellow Texan, Mr. Ross Perot, Medal of Honor recipients Tom Norris and Mike Thornton, fellow flag and general officers, Gold Star families, Miss Dorothy Woods, you're a tough act to follow. I can absolutely not think of a better tribute to Ty than you standing up here and making those comments. Thank you very, very much. And you represent the Gold Star families incredibly well. Thank you. I'd also like to recognize Judge Webster. Sir, thank you very much for taking the time to join us today as well, sir. To our wounded warriors, to the plank owners that are here, distinguished guests, frogmen from World War II to present, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again so very much for being here today. It is a great honor for me to be here. This is my second year in being here, and I told Rick Kaiser, as embarrassed as I am, I have not had a chance to get in the museum yet. So after this, that's where you will find me, is in the museum, because it is a phenomenal building that really captures our legacy. It's also quite fitting today that we have three men here who have shaped the past two generations of frogmen, mine included. Mr. Ross Perot, who is without a doubt the most gracious, the most generous, the kindest patron that the Special Operations Forces and Naval Special Warfare has ever known. Most of you in the audience only know Mr. Perot from what you read in the news. But let me tell you something. He is helping our frogmen and their families every day. Our wounded warriors, struggling families, men and women of all services. He is helping them with jobs, with financial support, with compassion, and he never, ever wants recognition. So Ross, thank you very much for being here today. But I also want to recognize two of my personal heroes, Tom Norris and Mike Thornton. Tom and Mike, along with Bob Carey, these three SEAL Medal of Honor recipients were the inspiration for every SEAL and UDTer who graduated in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. They were the gold standard of courage and professionalism. We all wanted to be like them, and if we couldn't, we at least wanted their respect for trying. They drove my generation to make the 9/11 generation the best it could be. I cannot think of any better representatives of our community than Tommy Norris and Mike Thornton. Later today, because of the generosity of Mr. Perot, we will unveil a statue that depicts these two American heroes in one of their more historic moments. So thank you very much again for joining us here today. You know, the great thing about the muster is that it brings together generations of frogmen and those that supported us. It allows us to pay our respect to the men who made us what we are today. Men like John Spence, who unfortunately at the age of 95 passed away earlier this week. John was a World War II frogman who served in both the European and the Pacific theaters. He helped rescue downed airmen from occupied France as a member of the famed OSS, and he participated in the island hopping campaign supporting the early UDTers off the coast of Okinawa. History will note that John was on a dive one night when a fellow sailor saw him emerging from the water and called him a frogman, a name he wore with pride for the rest of his life. And this year we celebrate the 70th anniversary of those original frogmen, the Naval Combat Demolition Units and the Scouts and Swimmers. This muster also allows you older frogmen to meet your legacy in the form of the young SEALs and combatant craft crewmen who are keeping your good name and your reputation of excellence alive. And it should go without saying that our reputation is important. It is a reputation of professionalism, a reputation of boldness, a reputation of courage, and above all, a reputation of honor and integrity that has been earned every year since John Spence surfaced from that dive. Today, our reputation is unmatched. The daily acts of heroism by SEALs and SWCS around the world are a source of great pride to the nation and great pride to all of those who have served. But like all reputations, ours requires constant vigilance. It is the responsibility of every man wearing a trident, or every man who ever wore a trident, to live up to the standards that our forefathers set for us, to carry on our good name, because no one man owns the trident, and no one man represents the trident. It belongs to all of us, and to all of us falls this glorious responsibility of living up to the standards of excellence we have set for ourselves. That reputation of excellence began right here at Fort Pierce. It began with Lieutenant Commander Draper Kaufman, who passed it to Phil Bucklew, who passed it to Roy Boehm, who passed it to Patches Watson, who passed it to Tom Norris, Mike Thornton, Bob Carey, and Tom Kelly, who passed it to Don McFall, who passed it to Brett Slavinsky, Mark Donald, who passed it to Mike Murphy and Mike Mansour, who passed it to Ty Woods. You see, that's what reputations do. They forge one generation into another. They set the standards for frogmen old and new. They inspire the recruits and the retirees alike. And it is here at Fort Pierce that we capture the essence of that reputation. But a museum is more than just a place to honor our past. It is more than just a keeper of our legacy. It is a place to shape our future. Because every young man who comes through those doors has the potential to become another frogman, has the potential to be another Mike Mansour or Tommy Norris. Inside those walls, we will honor the men of a Turbine 3-3, Extortion 1-7, and Aussie 7-2. We will honor those that have served, and we will reinforce why that service is so very important to this nation. Inside those walls, we will carve in stone the SEAL Creed upon which rests our good name. The creed that reads in part, "We will never quit. We will protect our teammates. We will accomplish the mission. We are never out of the fight. We will serve with honor on and off the battlefield. Our word is our bond. Our trident is our symbol of honor bestowed on us by heroes who have gone before. It is a privilege that we must earn every day." And to those loved ones who stand beside us, who lift us up when we fall down and give us hope in our hours of darkness, to those families and friends, you are as much a part of that reputation, of this legacy of honor and courage, as any man wearing the trident. Every year, as frogmen and boat guys, we will gather to renew our commitment to those that came before us. And to those of you who join us in this celebration, you should hold us to that commitment. And every year when you leave Fort Pierce, remember why you came. You didn't just come for the beer or the food or the old friends. You came because our past and our present are filled with good men who sacrificed everything to be called frogmen and seals. May God bless all of you boat guys, frogs, and seals, and may God continue to protect our men and women in harm's way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Admiral McRaven.